Hi, so I'm here to talk to you today about Ready or Not. So this is supposed to be a horror movie. It's a sort of a slasher movie and a dark comedy. I went to see it. Those of you who have seen more than one of my videos, I've said it several times that I am not a fan of the horror genre. But I saw the trailer and I felt like I had to see it because I found it interesting. I found it well done. I found it intriguing, and so I went to see it. And I have to say that my expectations were not disappointed. So I'm going to read to you the summary, the synopsis, because I think IMDb just nailed it. It's a bride's wedding. A bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. This just sums it up. The directors are Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. This is a collaboration. Apparently they've collaborated in other movies of this genre. They're not newcomers at the genre. The writers are Guy Busick. He wrote Urge. If you didn't see this movie, look it up. It's pretty interesting too. I mean, the premise is really interesting, and it's really interesting as well. It's the same sort of mise en place. It's the same sort of development. It's an intriguing premise, and then it's well developed, and it goes to extremes, and it's interesting. And another writer is Ryan Murphy. So it has, as the leading lady, it has the bride. It has a girl named Samara Weaving. She nailed it, let me say. I think I could talk about Brody and Andie MacDowell. They're in this movie too. But this girl nailed it. I mean, the movie exists because of this girl, and she's brilliant at it. She's a great leading lady. I found this movie very, very, very interesting. I found it a very good script. Why do I say this? Because it's got a great premise. It's got really well developed characters. Not so much in the evolution of the character, but this is a horror movie. I mean, this is not an epic. This is not a drama. The story is not about what they do with their lives. It's about something they have to face. And quite honestly, the main character is not dumb. It's not void. We just have enough information to understand that she's going to give it a fight, you know. The secondary characters are really, really well developed and really funny. I found it really funny. It's very dark. The comedy is dark, and I love dark comedy. I thought that it was really, and this is not about the writing, but it's about the direction and obviously the special effects. I found it in the writing too. It's very real when it comes to the death details. It's a slasher movie, and I found it very real. Well, I should know. I did legal medicine anyway. I found it really interesting that it was very the details of death were kind of interesting to me. Sorry, it's kind of gore, but I found it interesting. What can I say? I found it interesting. Even the sounds, the blood. I found that it kind of, the slow motion sometimes it's interesting in that part. And I think it plays with the expectations very well. I mean, you expect something kind of, and this is my problem with the genre. The characters are not that interesting usually, and you can see what's going to happen, kind of forecast it. And in this case, when you know that character is going to act like that, they don't, and then it's interesting that they play well with expectations. I found it interesting. I thought that this is the style of writing is more of a thriller or of a drama than of a horror movie. I mean, it's not given to you. It's you expect it, and then it develops into something interesting. Well, the critics online, the reviews online, some say that there are some details, the supernatural detail in the third act is kind of spoils the movie. That's what I've been reading online. I didn't think so. I thought the first and second act are in the same house, it's the same objective, and then the third, it's out of the house, and it's a little different than the others. I didn't feel it spoiled it. I felt it was a necessary and kind of well explained progression. And then they talk about the supernatural twist. What's a horror movie without the supernatural? I mean, I was ready to accept it at that time. I just wanted something to happen, you know, and I was ready to accept it. So even that, I found it interesting. It didn't come as weird or anything. It just came as, oh, really? Wow, okay. Okay, cool. So, you know, I found it cool. Also, they say that there's only one thing that I didn't read anywhere, but I kind of found, and with the person that I went to the movies with, we talked about it. She's a little girl, you know, she's a little tiny girl, and there are some scenes when you kind of feel like, I'm not sure she could have done that. But I was ready to accept it because I was even ready to accept an extremer reaction from her from a certain point. And you will feel it. There's a midpoint, there's a moment when I'm not going to spoil it for you, but she kind of gets really dirty, let's say. You'll identify it. I expected, when she got out of that situation, I expected her to become, you know, the adrenaline, and this is how I react. When everything is lost, I mean, you go to your big toe and you just move out of my fucking way. So I was ready to an extremer reaction. So when she does stuff that you don't think that physically she could do, one, horror movies do that all the time. Two, I expected a bigger reaction even, so I was ready to accept extremes. And so that, to me, they kept it pretty real. I mean, to me, they kept it pretty real. I would have gone further. A little girl like me, tiny little girl, trust me on this one. When I see myself in that situation, when I thought, oh, she's gonna, you know, just burst all over, and she's gonna drag everything. Because when you lose everything, there's nothing to lose. I mean, what are you afraid of? I expected a bigger reaction, so they kept it pretty real to me, I think. If you think that she couldn't handle it or she couldn't have the strength, just remember the adrenaline. And when you just have nothing to lose. So I loved it. I had lots of fun in a slasher movie, horror movie, whatever. The dark comedy is just top notch. I thought the script was really well written. I don't think I have seen such a nice script in a horror movie, but I'll give it to you. I haven't seen that many. Okay? Well, I've seen many, but maybe not as many as fans of the genre. Congratulations to the writers, congratulations to the directors, congratulations to the leading lady, and congratulations for the last line. That was the cherry on the cake. I loved it. That was great. The costumes, the sets, the cinematography. I really loved this movie. I really recommend it. I had lots and lots and lots of fun at this movie. I was speaking out loud sometimes, like the rest of the audience. So to actually get a reaction, I was just having so much fun. And the details of death and the whole thing, it was just I loved it. So I recommend it. Absolutely. There's nothing I can say that is not good. And that is a good experience in the movies. So go to the movies, and if you can catch Ready or Not, just watch it because it's fun. If nothing else, it's just so fun. It's really fun. The dark comedy is really good. So go to the movies. Thanks for watching. And just comment and like if you can, please. That's the point. So if you can, please do. Thank you so much for watching, and go to the movies.